Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at Tesla. Some really interesting things going on with Tesla right now. And it's been a while since I've looked at Tesla, made a video on Tesla. Let's start to make more video on Tesla. Can I please stop saying Tesla? Anyway, Tesla refresh Model 3 includes active hood pedestrian safety feature. So let's try to understand what this is. Tesla's added a few new safety features to the refresh Model 3, including an active hood feature designed to offer increased protection in the case of collision with a pedestrian. Tesla details in the active hood feature in the Model 3 owner manual in market where the refresh model is currently sold. Upon colliding with a pedestrian or cyclist, Tesla says the car hood will pop up to reduce the likelihood of serious injury. Deployment of the active hood feature will immediately result in a touchscreen alert and a collision chime. And Tesla says that the driver should immediately bring the Model 3 into service center following the deployment. So multiple sensors at the front of the vehicle are designed to detect an impact with a pedestrian when the Model 3 is moving between approximately 30 to 52 kilometers. That's kilometers per hour, and it raises the rear portion of the hood automatically approximately 80 millimeters. This was written by Tesla in the owner's manual. This increases the space between the hood and the components beneath it, reducing the likelihood of injuries. Tesla's also noted that the system relies on sensors algorithm to determine when active hood feature should be deployed, meaning that it's possible for a feature to deploy when the Model 3 collides with animals and other vehicles, and it's possible for it not to deploy in some pedestrian collisions. Although the feature was previously available in the Tesla Model S and X and only in some regions as notes in European Owner's Manual. It isn't included in the pre-refresh Model 3 and it can't be seen in the vehicle's US Owner's Manual. The feature has been used in other cars in the past beyond Tesla's brand. So apparently this is a feature that is not unknown to the world. This has been around for some time. However, it's probably been a very rare feature, but I think Tesla has seen some cases where it must be necessary. Given the fact that Tesla is the main company that's pursuing self-driving capabilities heavily. Now, something else I'd like to touch on before we get into Tesla's stock and the Tesla earnings. The Tesla's Giga Berlin train shuttle runs on diesel. This has been done since August, so I'm a little bit late on this news, but I'd still like to talk about it because it's very important to what we're talking about today. Tesla's on a quest. They're on a quest to be the most successful car-making company in the history of mankind, and that's quite obvious. What other companies do you know installing trains, shuttles for their employees? Maybe there's a few other companies, but certainly I don't think the majority is doing things like these. And it really brings to question, how important is the commitment for Tesla to be successful? It is extremely important, which is why this company is such a great company for myself to invest in. And by the way, that's not financial advice, it's just my opinion. Now, commuters taking the first train to Tesla station were welcomed by DJ who played music during the ride. I remember this. This was a huge thing on Twitter at the time, but unfortunately, I didn't talk about it. Or perhaps I did, but I didn't remember. I thought it was really great what Tesla did. You know, it's helping employees, that's for one, but it's also showing just how serious they are at getting the job done by any means necessary. You have no excuse to not turn up to work. So Tesla opened this train shuttle service at the Gigafactory in Berlin, making the site the company's first to offer workers access by rail. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, Tesla Europe has announced the line's inauguration, noting that Giga Berlin now has its own train shuttle, capable of moving 400 people per ride. The announcement was accompanied by a short video of the first train arriving early in the morning at the new Tesla station located on the factory's premises. For everyone who has to deal with unreliable bus service, unreliable cars, not having a car, taxi, ride sharing, now you've got a Tesla train. And for some, perhaps it's not a big thing, but for me, I thought this was really significant. I thought it really showed Tesla's seriousness, their readiness in everything. Let's talk about revenue. I'm sure most of you are aware of Tesla's recent revenue, and it's been good. It's been really, really good. It's been consistent from the end of last year in 2022. It's been quite consistent. Q2 this year is where we had the biggest earnings so far. It was 24.93 billion. That compared to last year Q4, 24.32 billion. But we know the mission of Tesla is not necessarily to make the most money. It's actually to get the most vehicles on the road as soon as possible. Then you can make more money later. And this is very normal for an American business to be made. It's actually a very American business mindset. It's that you sacrifice profit for users for the first few years or the first few decades. Amazon did it. They sacrificed revenue for customer satisfaction. And their plan was to get as much customers as possible. And as you can see, that plan has worked pretty well for Amazon, and it's working great for Tesla as well. If we take a look at where some of these vehicles are being sold, you can obviously tell that North America is Tesla's biggest market, obviously. And I believe the US is in second place. So North America and the US, that's top for Tesla. And it will continue with the new factory they've announced in Mexico. It's a constant growing business, but also you can clearly see how well they're doing in China. That's their third largest market, the Chinese market. And it's absolutely doing incredibly well for Tesla, and it continues to grow, especially when they keep low-end prices. It's not slowing down by any means necessary. Now, what's really unfortunate is that I don't have the numbers for European markets, unfortunately. And that is unfortunate because the Tesla vehicle, the Tesla brand, is very popular within Europe, within the UK, France, Germany, Norway, Sweden. As we all know, Tesla is the most popular EV company in the world. That includes Europe, but it's not showing the European data. What about the main service that they're providing? Well, the main service is automotive. Of course, it's automotive. Service and others is also a big thing for Tesla, but on another thing is the energy generation and storage segment. That's a huge thing. Their battery packs, the solar systems that they offer. That's a big thing for Tesla. And they've also got automotive leasing. So it's really interesting to look at how this adds up for Tesla. They're adding more and more things to their portfolio all the time, and they're looking to advance it more and more. Now let's take a look at the price over the last year. And I'm telling you, just before the summer start of this year, the price was at the best price you can get, $108 for a Tesla share. At the height this year, and this was in July, it almost tripled that price. That tends to tell a lot. But recently, we've actually seen the price around October, I believe. It fell as low as $197. That was quite significant. What I do like about this company is that there's always opportunities to buy the share. Seriously, there's always opportunities, so shouldn't be much complaint. And the way this company is looking, it's going to do a lot more. When will the share price hit $1,000 once again? And when that happens, we can expect another stock split. Can we expect that in the next 5 years? I'm quite certain on that. One of the things I must talk about Tesla is really significant is how much they've been lowering their debt continuously. This is rather impressive. Let's just take a look at how much this company has been lowering their debt significantly. And I'd say this all started back in 2020, which is really surprising because that's the stage when a lot of companies were struggling because of the pandemic. Needless to say, at the start of that year, Tesla was one of those companies that might have been struggling just a little bit. But certainly from then on, from the start of 2021, they've been lowering their debt significantly. Capital lease is still a little bit high, but it's definitely manageable. Consider the amount of cash that they have on hand. They've got more than enough. So another thing I just wanted to end this video on, Tesla may have already clinched this year's top selling vehicle in the European market. And like I was saying previously, I couldn't get you those European figures in an infographic style at least, but let's not forget, Tesla's always done pretty well within the European market. That's no surprise. The Tesla Model Y appears to be on track to become Europe's best-selling vehicle in 2023, with the electric SUV finishing on top for the first 10 months of the year. Tesla's January through October sales of the Model Y have a strong lead over the close competitor, the Dacia Sandero, according to data from Dataforce. Additionally, Tesla sales are expected to increase for the last 2 months of the year as automakers often see a large delivery push at the end of the quarter and at the end of the year. And if there's more vehicles being sold, which means that the revenue will skyrocket even more, I think for the first time, Tesla will cross 25 billion in revenue per quarter. And that's for Q4 at the end of this year. We'll only know at the end of this year. But keep in mind, last year was their first time cracking the 24 billion per quarter. We're going to see big numbers come the end of this year. You can clearly tell the patterns are there. Towards the end of the year, EV companies, not just EV companies, but automotive companies, usually do very well in deliveries and in revenue as well. You can expect something very similar from Tesla. So Tesla sales in Europe and its end of year quarter push. Tesla 2023 sales have gotten strong each month of the quarter. You see what I mean? Look at that. Q1, month 1 just under 10,000, month 2 22,000, month 3 it went to 60,000. And totaling all 3 quarters, 93,000. Now Q2 was very similar, almost 15,000 in the first month, almost 30,000 within the second month, and almost 50,000 within the third month. Overall 93,000, a little bit less than Q1 actually, which is really interesting, but still they're balancing out. They started really strong and then they tapered off. But it continues to get more interesting, because Q3 numbers were a little bit down overall, but they started really strong. 18,000 in the first month, 33,000 in the second month, and 34,000 in the third month. So it seems like at the end of the quarter, they start falling off, which is really interesting. So it looks like Q4 so far, 18,000 for the first month, and that was the month of October. So very similar to Q3. If we continue this up, we're looking at somewhere from 85,000 to 90,000, possibly even 95,000. That'd be really significant. Still, that is huge numbers to say the least. Thankfully, this company has no room for slowing down. Still got some more news on Tesla, but if you'd like me to cover that stuff, let me know in the comments. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.